Hi, welcome to the Shed. In this episode, we're going to go over note values for our level 1 notes. So here we go. We're going to start with a whole note. Now, a whole note receives 4 counts. If I was to write in counts for this whole note, you have to make sure that you start directly underneath the center of the note, and you're going to write 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, a note has an attack, it has a sustain, and it has a release. So in order to show that, we circle the counts. The beginning of the circle is the attack. When the numbers are inside the circle, that's the sustain, and at the end of the circle, that's the release. So that's a whole note. It gets 4 counts. Now, if we divide that in 2, we get half notes. So here are 2 half notes that equal the same duration of the whole note. So a half note has 2 counts. We would write 1 and 2 and underneath the first one, and then 3 and 4 and underneath the second one. 2 notes, 2 separate attacks, 2 separate durations, 2 separate releases. So there are 2 circles. All right, now if we divide those in half, we get our quarter notes. So we have 4 quarter notes here. Each quarter note receives 1 count. So if I was to write in counts in circles, you have 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and. Make sure that they're right underneath the middle of the note, and then each one gets its own circle. So there are 4 attacks, 4 sustains, and 4 releases. Now if we divide those in half, we get eighth notes. So here are eighth notes, and if eighth notes are together, sometimes they're beamed. So these are still 4 separate eighth notes. There's 4 separate attacks. When they're by themselves, they have a flag, a single flag. So these are eighth notes, and each eighth note gets 1/2 of a count. So if I was to write in counts underneath here, I'd have 1 and of 1, 2, and a 2, 3, and a 3, 4, and the and of 4. Now each one has its own separate attack, its own separate sustain, and its own separate release. So these are the level 1 notes, and we can see that they're all related here. So we have our whole note divided in half, we get 2 half notes, and then quarters divided in half, and then divide that in half one more time. All right.